On tonight's show, we have a very special guest. Tonight we have star of stage, screen and many James Bond films, Mr. Sean Connery.
Hello, it's good to be here.
It's good to have you here. Right, so, Sean, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up straight away the question that's on everyone's lips, which is, why did you do the Avengers?
Do you really want to know?
Yes, please.
Well, let me break it down to you like this. Maestro, please. If you check out my bank balance, you're in for a big surprise. If you check out my bank balance, you wouldn't believe your eyes. The shitty films that fill my career are the reason I'm laying here on a bed that's purely made of money. I remember the very day my agent called me on the phone. He said there's a job that pays so much you could buy a fourth home. The script is shit, it doesn't make sense, but what do you care? You'll get a paycheck, and that's the day I signed up to do the Avengers. Conservatory time for Connery. I've got the builders in, they're gonna extend my home today. Watch them as they build it up, and I just take a shot from the champagne in my hand. I don't care how much it costs. I've got loads of dosh, I practically give it away. And when it's done, I'm gonna get naked and sit down on my ass because I really don't give a fuck. Does that answer your question?
Hello and welcome to the Blackdog number 230.
230.
Wow.
230. 230. It's a shame it's not 666.
It's not, isn't it? Yeah.
There you go. Anyway, yes.
Shashi.
Shush.
Seashells on the seashore.
Oh dear. And this is just the start. So, anyway.
Honey, I love you. And I'm being good.
Yes. As you may have noticed, I'm back at the helm after Darren's temporary stand-in for last week.
Yep.
In my donut-encrusted hell. Which won't be happening again, I can assure you.
The incident.
Oh, shame.
Oh, no, seriously, I'll tell you a little bit.
Straight into the eyeballs.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim. And I am Elton.
And this week we will be discussing the Avengers.
Yes.
And we will also have a shitty superhero from that evil mastermind, Mr. Will Catlin Hallett.
It's not him evil. Yeah, he's in a
Yes.
volcano base.
Yes.
Somewhere in the
Yes.
Pacific.
Shitting
in his volcano base.
Oh dear, this is never going to get tiring. And we've got a shitty superhero, and then we've also got profanasaurus.
Yes, indeed.
Stunning. and then we'll obviously review the Avengers. But before we do that, let's move on to our weeks. Now, obviously, we all shared a little extra something on Friday, but outside of that.
Oh, you're talking about Comic Relief, aren't you? Sorry,
Yeah.
there was a post-Comic Relief party, but never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone get naked and get the peaches out.
Let's get sexy.
But before we do that...
we're getting sexy?
Yes.
Okay, I'm buttering my nipple.
Yeah, I'm like Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back.
I'm bringing sexy back.
Yes, but before we do that, let's find out how everyone's week's been, or at least the last 4 days since we last talked. So we'll start with Jim. How was your week, sir?
It seems to be rather podcast related. Again.
Yep.
I've not really done much really, other than put out a new cast. Eaten far too well.
Yep.
With the sad news of Mr. Pratchett's passing, I responded in the time-honoured British way. I'm cooking myself a roast dinner. And obviously it's just me who lives here, so I'm still eating roast chicken. But then Saturday night, an old friend was in town, so went round to another old friend's house where he was staying, and he'd cooked a beautiful beef curry.
Nice.
Then Sunday went out to my dad's and had another roast dinner, roast chicken again.
Nice.
So I'm now just expecting to sprout feathers, really.
Oh, right. Okay. Lay eggs. Mm. Yeah. And can I just say, by the way, that Hypnagoria you put out, the Terry Pratchett one, you evil bastard. There was dust in the air. God damn it.
You weren't recording it.
Yeah.
There were many retakes on that cast.
I can imagine.
I don't mind saying.
Yes. And
it was like, bloody Terry. I had an episode and where did it go? I had to die. I had to do this. And now I'm really sad.
yeah.
I'm only sadder when I remember all the brilliant things you've done.
Yeah.
I'm only 20 minutes into it at the moment. But I did listen to the other one you put out as well. And that was really good. The dungeon.
Oh, yeah. Death Trap Dungeon.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Good old fighting fantasy.
Yeah.
And if anyone does listen to it, listen to the end.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Very good. Yeah. So there you go. There's your plug out early, nice and early there, Jim. So
well, that's done.
Yeah, that's that done. So brilliant. But no, well done on that Terry Pratchett obit. That was so good. So good. And everyone should listen to it. It's on hypnagoria.blogspot.com and on hypnagoria.geekplanetonline.com and iTunes. It's brilliant. Fitting tribute.
If we're lucky, it's on iTunes.
Well, yeah, iTunes seems to be playing up like bastard. But anyway, cool. So Elton, what about you, sir? Nothing.
Nothing.
Darren.
Nothing. No, I did Mother's Day. Yeah, like Jim, had about 4 roast dinners in one day.
Nice.
Which was awesome. And yeah, I'm pretty much looking forward to the lunar eclipse.
Oh, on Friday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next Friday.
No, this Friday.
Is it this Friday?
Not lunar
this
eclipse,
Friday.
is it?
No,
solar eclipse.
It's a solar eclipse, yeah. Solar eclipse at 9:15.
Yeah. Right
Friday.
in the middle of
you sitting there in your pants watching Jeremy Kyle?
No, do you know what I wish? No, I'll probably be driving to and from jobs by then. And so it's going to be great on the M25 when everyone's just looking up at the sun.
Yep.
Yeah.
While still driving.
Yeah, expect massive crashes.
Oh,
that
well.
day.
Never mind.
Have you actually ever been to a full-on eclipse at all, Elton?
A full-on one? No, I did the 1999 one at the top of Shooter's Hill.
Ah, right, because I went down to... I actually was at Marizia down in Cornwall when that hit, and it's like one of the best places in England to see it. And I've got to say, your brain, there's sort of a little bit in your brain that's the caveman suddenly kicks in when it all goes dark, and you really kind of feel the fear.
Yeah.
Because it's really strange how it came over me like that.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, what the hell is going on?
Like,
yeah.
What is this? What is this strange magic? What is this voodoo?
It is weird, though, because we were on Shooter's Hill, as I said, and I had grown men next to me going, oh, it's quiet, isn't it? All the birds are gone to bed. Oh, it's cold, isn't it? Like, you didn't expect it to get cold when you got a massive body in front of the sun.
No. Well, that's a bit like me standing in front of the shower. It all goes cold on one side. He says, totally derailing the conversation.
Yeah.
I when I saw the 98, is it 98 or 99? It was
99.
Yeah, I was on the roof of a building in Elstree and watching it, and it was quite weird because Elstree's kind of like is flat for pretty much miles around, and it's like, so you're standing there and you're standing on the roof and you're on almost the tallest bit of the whole town, and you're just looking up, and it's just like everything went sort of this kind of vague grey dark colour, and it was like, it's a bit strange. And then a big cloud went across the whole thing, and it was like,
didn't it just?
Well, that was the end of that then.
It still went completely dark though.
Yeah,
that was it. And then the birds start kicking.
Yeah,
as soon as
then the blood god came down from the sky. Anyway, anything else, Elton?
No, that's it.
Okay, right, fine. Darren. How was your week?
Well, apart from actually trying to sort out the bedroom this weekend, we got a bit of a damp problem in there, so I've been trying to clean it up just before we can get in.
Talcum powder down the pants.
Yeah, exactly. I get so excited. It took us around about 10 hours just to clean it out, just to do the whole thing, move everything, clean everything up, whatever.
Yep.
But it's now looking all spick and span. There's still a bit of a problem in some of the corners, but there you go. But yeah, my one thing that I did in between doing sort of like, the comic relief bits and bobs is last night, myself and Mr. Plastides went out to watch Chappie.
Okay.
It's probably the world's longest Die advert for their album I've ever been, had the mispleasure of being in front of.
Yeah,
do you know what? I'm sure there is a good film in there somewhere, but it was all over the place. It really was. It's not. It's a real. I don't know what the hell Neil Blomkamp is doing these days, because he's had a couple of.
Well, he had Elysium, which was kind of looked nice.
Well,
but it was just like,
Elysium was even better than this. It really. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. The animation for the actual droid itself and the other droids are really, really good.
Well, it's motion captured off of Sharto Copley.
Yeah, it's really done well. It's really done. It's very realistic. It's nice to see Hugh Jackman kind of coming out of character and actually playing a sort of a bad guy.
Huge action. Yep.
Yeah, huge action.
Yep.
But yeah, a bit of a damp squid, really. And from what I've heard on set, the guy who's obviously playing himself, well, he's using his own name, Ninja, because that's his band name.
What a cunt.
Well, yeah, apparently, yes. On set, he caused an awful lot of problems.
Yeah.
So I very much doubt he'll be working with Neil Blomkamp ever again.
Yeah.
Well,
at least we won't see him in Alien 5, so that's a start.
Yeah, exactly.
Hooray.
So,
shite.
Chappie just...
So it doesn't bode well for Alien 5 then?
Well, I don't know.
Given
this
that
is the thing.
District 9 is probably the only good one he's done.
He's capable of doing some good stuff. That's the problem. It's just drawing that out of him.
Yeah, but the problem is District 9 and then Elysium, which was a bit of a... And then this. That's his entire back catalogue. That's it.
Isn't there anything else he did?
No, he's done loads of short films which have turned up on YouTube, like Tetraval and stuff like that.
The short films are fantastic, especially about the... There's a really good one with Linda Carter in it about a droid that goes to work in an office and kind of reads the wrong signals that he's being given.
Oh, right.
And tries to act a bit more human. It's just the final shot. It's just fucking classic.
Right.
And also the original, the film for District 9, Alive in Joburg.
Yeah.
Which is...
But that's
really, really
that's
good.
the same thing with Tetraval. The Tetraval was the same thing. That's pretty much Chappie in sort of early form.
Oh, right, okay.
The robots even look the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like the guy's got like two good ideas and he's done them all.
Well, I really, really hope that's not the case. But
so do I, because if he's got Alien 5, I don't want to be angry at another Alien film. I don't think our blood pressure can take it.
Maybe he needs someone else to write it and he just goes ahead and directs it.
Thank you for offering. I will do it.
No problem.
I will go out there.
Get him on the phone now. Get him on the phone now.
Neil, come over here. Let me take your pictures.
I've got this, mate.
I've got this. Yeah, I've got this. I've been writing Alien fan fiction since I was fucking 10. Cool. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my week has been pretty sort of, just work. Yeah. Really ironically, I've had no work for ages. And then I finished one job and I've got another one and I can't talk about that one, unfortunately. I've also got one which is the Predator job.
Yeah.
Predator Kickstarter film, which is kind of going along quite nicely, but it's kind of overlapping with the one I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And then, out of nowhere, I've had 4 job big jobs come along.
Big jobs.
And they're not big jobbies, but not even
Hey, had a few big jobbies.
or roadbusters or anything like that. No, but they've come along, and now I'm waiting for like different people to just say yes or no that they want this job, want stuff done. One of the jobs is working on a TV series with Rob Lowe.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
That's one.
Are you animating his face?
Yeah, probably.
Because he's got so much. I mean, he needs the animation now because of the Botox.
Yeah, and it's going to be
face.
it's going to be on Sky.
Is
It's
it?
going to be on Sky One called Apocalypse Slough.
Apocalypse Slough?
Yeah. As you can imagine, it's a comedy.
I take it this is a post-apocalyptic.
It's the coming apocalypse, and Slough basically is the only surviving town. So there's that
Brilliant.
one. There's that one, but I'm waiting for a call about that, and if that goes ahead, then I've got 6 months worth of solid work on that at Ealing Studios.
Oh, back there again.
Yeah, not Elstree, Ealing.
Oh, yes.
And
No,
then
wasn't it?
if that goes ahead, but then also today I got one from Endemol. Who?
What the drug people?
No, you.
What am I thinking of? Endemol.
I don't know.
I'm sure that's something.
No.
Weren't they responsible for
Black Mirror.
Big Brother and Black Mirror?
Yeah, Charlie Brooker's Weekly Wipe.
Is it anything to do with Mr. Brooker?
I
by any
can't
chance?
say anything.
You can't say anything.
But it's to do. It's basically Endemol did they do lots of game shows and stuff like that as well, and lots of like I say, Black Mirror and all that kind of stuff as well. And
Can we ask if it is it anything not to do with Brooker?
hang about, what kind of question is that? You trying to double back on me? Is it anything not to do with him?
Is it to do with him?
That doesn't. If I say yes, then that yes I am, or yes or no. I don't understand.
Just answer the question, Metcalf.
I can't answer a question if I don't understand what the question is. I'm pleading ignorance.
Okay. What he means is, the thing you're working on, is there a possibility that Charlie Brooker isn't in it?
Is there a chance that he isn't in it?
Yeah.
Oh, there's every chance he isn't in it.
Is there a chance that it's got absolutely nothing to do with him whatsoever?
Is there a chance that he has nothing to do with him?
Darren,
Exactly.
abort,
He's not written,
abort,
directed.
abort.
You're in the wrong room, Dal. No. What am I?
Is it an animal?
Does it have a leg?
Can you fashion a rudimentary lathe?
Does this person have glasses?
I don't know. I'm meeting her
Is it a
for a
difficult
coffee
fact?
sometime this week.
Is it a difficult fact?
Not impossible.
Not impossible. Okay.
But anyway, apart from that, so I've got work piling up around my ears. So I apologise in advance if, for whatever reason, the forthcoming Blackdogs all get jumbled about, because even though I will try damn hard not to interrupt Tuesdays,
You need
there is a possibility that it could all go a bit wonky. But more news as that arrives, because I was supposed to be going to see Sean and Melissa in New York on the 28th of April. Well, actually, it was supposed to be the 8th of May, and then it was the 28th of April. And now with all this stuff going on, I've had to no, I can't do it yet. Not until I know exactly what's going on. So there's that. I wish I could tell you about the other project that I'm doing as well, because that's quite cool. But anyway, but moving on. Yeah, that was my week. And I will be going to see Home.
I want to see that.
I'm waving my hands in the air like I just do not care. So I'll be seeing that on Sunday. So I'll let you know how I get on with that.
The bit in the trailer where they're in the car and they've got the stereo playing, and it just does those involuntary body moves.
Yeah, no, it's the eating the blue cake. Do not eat the blue mints; they do not taste fine.
There are no blue mints.
Yeah.
Oh, luckily there's a tray of lemonade next to it.
Anyway,
Lemonade.
moving on. Some of you may have heard or may not have heard the Electric Boogaloo debacle that was Friday. And I have to say thank you to everyone who has donated up till now.
Yes.
It was amazing response. We didn't expect anything like this, but I now have the grand total
Yes.
we earned, including our swearing and everything else thrown in, of which I have to say Jim got away with an awful lot. But our grand total raised
Yes.
was £438 for comic relief.
Hurrah!
Huzzah!
Blimey.
Which isn't bad at all. We have such comments on the Just Giving page, such as "Fiendish Dr. Metcalf, you dong fucked up now," and yes, I would like £10 massage, please, plus the optional. It was fucking appalling experience. Take my money and fuck off. Rather you than me, and all those kind of things. But anyway, to all these people who have sent all the money in, we'll be keeping the Just Giving page up for another week. If you do wish to donate, which is justgiving.com/Blackdog podcast. But yeah, it was a good laugh, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was a lot better than I expected.
My wallet thanked me for not making it as bad as it could have been.
Well, yeah. If we hadn't flagged every time you swore, you wouldn't have been left.
Flag every time I
No,
swore.
that's what I'm saying. If we didn't,
you
would have kind of rattled on.
I would have just got away with it, but no, I had to come clean.
Yeah. Now, one last thing before we
Yes.
move on to shitty superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you about the donut come down.
Oh.
Yes,
The donut come down.
the donut come down.
Yeah.
What, after the I mean, how many days? What was that? A couple of days later? Or
No.
It was on your way home.
I dropped you off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dropped you off. I got home,
Mm-hmm.
and I turned all the lights out before we left the house.
Yeah.
And I got in, and I realised I was in a donut come down because not only was I having really horrible pain,
Yeah.
but I walked in and all the lights were off and the whole house was completely dark. But I was seeing white pulses in the corners of my eye,
Jesus Christ.
and it looked like the darkness was actually rippling, like a kind of
Wow.
weird pulse. And I lay in bed listening to my own heartbeat for what felt like 4 hours.
I am Rutger Hauer.
It was. I just was. And every time I turned round and tried to put my head on the pillow, it sounded even worse because there was blood rushing through my ears as well.
good Lord.
So it was going. And, yeah. So, kids, don't eat 12 donuts in a
No.
row. It's not good for you.
No. Not at all.
That's it, really. The only other thing is we're going for a drink on Friday.
Yes, we certainly are, because
Yes.
it's Gillian Coyle's birthday.
Yes, lovely Gillian Coyle.
Yes.
So we'll just say a preemptive happy birthday to Gillian's
Birthday.
Gillian's the partner of Mr. Dave Probert and
Yes.
also editor at Geek Planet Online. Happy birthday! There you go.
Sub-Commander.
Sub-Commander Coyle. Right. Anyway, enough flapping about and trying to make up things to say before getting to the shitty superhero. There's no escape. We must do it. Shitty superheroes.
Shitty, super fucking...
Breaking them out. I don't know what else to say.
Super fragicalistic expialidocious.
Shut up.
Shitty heroes won't save us, they'll only get in the way.
Continue with the operation. You may fire when ready.
All their powers are useless, they may as well call it a day. Yeah.
Right, okay, so this week's shitty superhero, as said before, it comes from our friend Mr. Will Catlin Hallett, Professor Will.
Fiendish Dr. Will Carrot.
Yeah. Fiendish Dr. Fiendish Dr. Will. You done funked up now. Yes, so he's dropped another one in today, and I'm just going to read his email, because his email just kind of sums up this one, and it just makes it so much easier to do. Robbie Rodriguez, a.k.a. El Guapo. Right?
Oh, hang on.
El Guapo.
This is ringing sinister bells.
Yeah. Rodriguez is a mutant who has no real powers of his own, but he possesses a symbiotic relationship with his superpower flying skateboard, which is seemingly alive and has an abusive relationship with him. Rodriguez's health is also deteriorating if the skateboard is separated from him for too long. He appeared in 8 issues of Ecstatics, and a couple of key sentences from the link below. That night, he was attacked by his own skateboard for cheating on his girlfriend. And another line, his flying skateboard goes out of control and Robbie smashes into a wall. The ball ends up impaling him and stabbing him through the heart.
What happened to a nice
So, yes. Yes. So basically, yeah, he it's not really a lot else to go along with that. He basically ended up... Right. Shortly after the death of his girlfriend, the record company released a single by her, which ended up killing anyone who sang it. And El Guapo hummed along with it and was shortly impaled by his own skateboard.
What?
Is that it?
That's it.
What's his name again?
Guapo.
Robbie Rodriguez, alias is the handsome one, but also known as El Guapo.
Yeah, I've got nothing.
No, a man who had
a skateboard.
A man and a skateboard, and the skateboard which is has an abusive relationship with him, and basically, his girlfriend, he cheated on his girlfriend. The skateboard got angry and
killed him.
And no, and he died when he sang his girlfriend's song, which was apparently cursed, and so he ended up smashing into a wall, and the skateboard impaled him through the heart.
Bummer.
I don't know what else to say. It's just...
Do you have a translation for his name?
What, El
Is it
Guapo?
being shit in Costa Rican or something?
I don't know.
Isn't that the bad guy from fucking The Three Amigos? El Guapo.
I don't know. His other alias is the handsome one.
Right.
Jesus.
So not only is he a shitty superhero, he's shit at skateboarding as well.
Just shit.
Yes, he's a double
He
helping
can't even do
of
his
shit.
pastime well.
Shit out of luck,
no,
that's what he is.
No, he can't do anything right. He's just shit. I don't know what else to say. I mean, even by my measure of shitty superheroes, I really just no.
He's like a really shit person version of the fucking Silver Surfer, isn't he?
Yeah,
This is it.
pretty much. He's like the shitty Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I've got no powers, but I have a skateboard that likes to kick the shit out of me.
Yeah,
Marty McFly was a better superhero than him.
yeah.
Fucking Bob Geldof and the Boomtown Rats were better fucking superheroes than him.
Yeah. Yeah, he also fought in Afghanistan and fought Blind Ali, an Iraqi mutant.
He fought a blind bloke.
What?
Yeah.
Because that's not stacking the odds in your favour, is it?
Yeah, he decapitated Blind Ali with his skateboard.
With his there we go.
Yeah, so there you go. Oh, hold on. Here we go. There you go. There's a picture of him
What are you famous for? For kicking the shit out of a blind person?
with a skateboard.
Yeah. Fucking chopped his head off with it.
So there you go. There's a gift that keeps on giving.
Or doesn't.
Or doesn't.
As it may be.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, so if you've got any more shitty superheroes like El Guapo, or there's another one that's coming up from Will, do send them in to Blackdog at Geek Planet Online, and we will sit here and stare at them incredulously with little or nothing to say because they are just truly shit.
Think of all the things
That was
we could be-
appalling.
Well, it was.
That was just terrible.
It is. It's one of those ones where it's just so incredibly dull and bad. It's just like I'm actually I don't know have anything to say. I mean, at least
I wonder why the bottom dropped out of the X comics. Jesus, caliber of quality characters like that.
that is that's
There's a lot of money to pay for your bog paper. don't care how many variant covers you stick on it.
Yeah.
It'll be the Andrex fucking puppy with characters like that.
Well, I mean, El Guapo's probably, his variant cover was probably made out of stone, or possibly, that didn't work. That was going to be a gag about smashing into the wall. I just no,
It's just not worth it, is it?
it's not even. I can't even raise the enthusiasm. I just can't.
What were El Guapo's last words? What wall?
El Guapo's. What's the last thought that went through El Guapo's head?
His arse.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Anyway, right, so if you do have any shitty superheroes, then by all means, send them in to blackdog@geekplanetonline.com. But now, we move on to Mr. Moon's Profanasaurus.
Weatherist. Contraction. A contraction of the term weather terrorist. A tongue-in-cheek phrase applied to anyone forecasting, predicting outbreaks of gloomy, apocalyptic conditions to darken your skies in the near future. You know the kind of thing. Wettest ever summer, coldest ever winter, another fucking 3 Independence Day films.
I think you get to a point where we go, what do you think of the film? Didn't like it. You didn't like it. You fucking hated it. You? Yeah, it's piss. There we go.
Feedback.
Oh, it's my dream.
Oh,
I dream of that.
You've only done 230 episodes, mate. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Jim. And yes, we got plenty of weatherist going on in a minute.
Oh, indeed.
Oh dear. So
I should have seen the definitions for bowler hatting. Believe me, brought tears to my eyes.
Oh God. Well, there's no avoiding it now, is there?
No, come on, let's get this out of the fucking way.
Yeah.
We can just stop now if you want.
Can we all just say shit and just go home?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
It's
Shit.
Shit.
No, we weren't in sync. Let's run the jingle.
Hello, guys, I heard you sent some feedback, but I cannot download it because my PC's crashed. What did you write? Oh, I just can't wait to read. Was the film so very bad it made your eyeballs bleed? Made your eyeballs bleed. Made your eyeballs bleed. Was the film so very bad it made your eyeballs bleed? Just a second, watch this crappy movie in my hand. It's a tragic balls up and it really should be banned. If I see it, I don't know what it will do to me. Maybe I'll view it while off my tits on LSD. Stop watching, I can't take this film anymore. She cover goggles are just making my eyes sore. Stop watching, I can't take this film anymore. She cover goggles are just making my eyes sore. Eject the disc. Someone eject the disc. Eject the disc. Have mercy. Eject the disc. Someone eject the disc. Eject the damn disc. Well, I may just croak cause the remote's broke, so I can't even hit the stop button. And I crap for less cause the film is a mess, and I can't even hit the stop button. Well, I may just croak cause the remote's broke, so I can't even hit the stop button. And I crap for less cause the film is a mess, and I can't even hit the stop button.
We're sorry. The podcast you were trying to download is not available at this time. Please check with your provider or try the link again.
Right, okay, so The Avengers, 1998 edition. The reason why Avengers in the US turned into Avengers Assemble in the UK in 2000 and whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so directed by Jeremiah S. Chiklik, or Chekik, never worked again. Produced by Jerry Weintraub, never worked again. Written by Don McPherson. Should never have worked again. Starring Ralph Fiennes, Uma Thurman, Sean Connery, Jim Broadbent, Fiona Shaw, and Eddie Izzard, otherwise known as Fred the Mime. It was distributed by Warner Brothers. It was released August 14th, 1998.
Wow.
It had a running time of 87 minutes, which felt a lot longer, and it had a budget of $60 million. Anyone care to hazard a guess at how much it actually made?
7.5p and a button.
Okay. Jim?
4p. If there's any justice in the world.
Elton?
About £2.84.
48,
And a Beano mag.
48 million quid.
Really? So it
Yeah.
did take a loss.
Yeah, it did take a loss.
Right.
Good.
Yes. There's not a lot of detail in these wikis are actually the reverse of the Star Trek wikis, as the reception and reviews and everything is all in the same sort of part and very small. So, the only bit of the wiki I can tell you is Warner Brothers distributor refused to allow any early press screenings for the movie viewers that most releases use to generate interest. Such a decision is often made when a studio and or distributor knows the film will not be received well and pre-press reviews would only be negative. The film was originally scheduled to open earlier in the summer, in June 1998, but was pushed back until August, often referred to as the late summer dumping ground for films that are not felt to be strong or worthy enough to open to the more lucrative holiday weekend. The film was a notable failure at the box office, grossing $48 million worldwide compared to the budget of $60 million. And Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle warned against poor editing and direction, explaining, "There's some business involving a dead ringer for Emma going around causing trouble. Then there's some mention of the word cloning. Then there's all talk of that is dropped. Everything's dropped. After slow opening, a 90-minute movie jolts to a climax. And what happens in the middle? Clearly there was some kind of editing that gutted the whole thing. No doubt they did us all a favour, but it doesn't help. Instead of just being a bad picture, the missing middle makes the Avengers a bad and weird and strangely off picture. One example, there's never a moment when Emma and Steed actually realise who the villain is. At first they don't know, next they're in a Titanic battle to the death. At one point Emma is shackled and floating around in a hot air balloon. I don't even know how she got there. I must have blinked. Due to an internal wrangling at Warner Brothers, the decision was made to vastly cut down the running time after a test screening was badly received, reducing the film from 115 minutes down to 87. This sacrificed much of the coherence and continuity in the process, and key scenes were removed, including an opening sequence in which Mrs. Peel's clone infiltrates and destroys the Prospero science installation. Early trailers include a scene where she says the words, "How now, brown cow," in the false telephone box to gain admittance, and the movie was originally scored by composer Michael Kamen, who included the original Avengers themes. However, he was unable to rescore the film after the massive radical re-editing, and so was forced to drop out. Warners were apparently not interested in releasing a director's cut or special edition in any form, even though director Jeremiah Chickick had offered to recut the film for nothing. The film was panned by critics. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes.
Aggravator?
Yeah.
That's near the mark.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes reports it as a 5% fresh, based on 82 reviews. Metacritic has it at 12 out of 100. The purists disliked it for the disrespect to the original series, particularly the introduction of romance between Steed and Peel. Rod Dreyer of the New York Post called it a big fat gob of maximum craposity. The kind of shallow, stupid, big-budget cow pile that smells of Joel Schumacher. He also... David Biculi, said, "This Avengers film is so horrendously painful and thoroughly awful, it gives other cinematic clunkers like Ishtar and Howard the Duck a good name." Jay Boyer of the Orlando Sentinel said, "The Avengers is without doubt the worst movie of the summer, if not the year." Reception in Britain was equally hostile. The Birmingham Post stating that The Avengers is slated by critics as the worst film ever made. Such a turkey, says one, that the makers should have handed distribution to Bernard Matthews. Alan Jones in the Radio Times said the cult of 1960s TV gets royally shafted in Hollywood and is stunningly designed blockbuster that is stunningly awful in every other department. Terrible special effects, zero chemistry between Fiennes and Thurman make this notorious disaster a total waste of everyone's time and energy. The film was nominated for a number of Razzie Awards, including Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Screenplay, Worst Supporting Actor for Sean Connery, Worst Actress, Worst Actor, Worst Screen Couple, Worst Original Song, but unfortunately it won only one trophy for the Worst Remake or Sequel. Total Film later voted Fiennes and Thurman in The Avengers the worst double act of all time. And that, I think, is probably that. So
I've got a couple of quotes that aren't on the wiki.
Go on and go for it. I'll take anything.
Richard Corliss of Time simply said, "It is an inert gas." And Patrick McNee, the original, just said it was terrible.
And he fucking started it.
I was going to say...
That's on the original Steed. It was terrible.
He was quite happy to walk out there with a fucking paycheck in his pocket, though.
Yeah. Cash
it
bomb.
Wasn't that terrible, was it?
Bomb.
No, Patrick.
It's a cash bomb. Anyway. Yeah. Well, but then again, it was only like 20 minutes worth of voiceover work, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm sure we've all got lots to say and admire with the Avengers. So, let's go round the table. I think we'll go with the people who haven't seen it first. So, Elton.
Right.
How was the Avengers?
Cracks knuckles. First off, I'd like to let you know what else came out in 1998.
Oh, yes. Go on.
Saving Private Ryan, Truman Show, Big Lebowski, Armageddon. What else do we have? Rounders.
Yep.
Rudrack's a movie, even better than this.
Yep.
Wild Things, and it goes on and on and on. There are miles better films that came out than this in 1998.
Yep.
I was fully insulted by this movie.
Fully
insulted. Not slightly, not a little bit.
Just completely and utterly.
Fully insulted. Almost Transformers 2 level.
Really?
Yeah, it was fucking appalling. I just didn't understand who it was aimed at.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I remember watching... When did the original program come out?
1966, I think it was.
No, started in 1960, finished 1969.
Ah, there you go.
Right, okay.
And then came back and did the New Avengers and stuff.
72.
Yeah?
Steed and Purdy. Oh, there you go.
Gareth Hunt, 5 times the finest guy for being. Sorry, we're doing wanker movements. Go on, carry on.
But that's my problem. Who was it aimed at? You know, younger generation going into this not knowing the Avengers. They would see straight through this. You know, there's no weight behind it, and they'd drop it straight away before the massive fucking pom bears turned up. It's just
bears.
fucking.
There's the title.
The older generation might like it, but I can't see them actually liking it at all. It's just fucking appalling, man. It really is. It's disgusting on every single level, and everyone involved should really be flogged into their lives and then rolled in bloody salt.
Nice.
And then maybe SS soldiers beat them to death with umbrellas. I don't know. And at least we could turn around and say that they did something right, I suppose.
Nice. So you're basically saying it's a cinematic war crime.
It's fucking hideous. It really is. Why was there no one in London?
Yeah.
I can explain that one, but carry on.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I'll get to that later.
Well,
yeah.
These are my questions I had when I was watching the movie. Now, why was there no one in London? Why is there a second Mrs. Pill? I didn't get that. Eddie Izzard coshing a granny. Fucking hell.
That was the highlight for me.
And for me, it's Sean Connery as well. You know, I think I've grown up with him being a superstar, and yet really I'm now slowly learning that James Bond was a flash in the pan, and he's been living off of that for all of these years.
Yes.
Well, actually, I'm just reading IMDb, and this film and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen were the reason that he decided to retire from filmmaking.
Really?
From start, yeah. This
He got found out.
this got this done for his career.
I had no more room for any more fucking conservatories.
You can only build so much on so much grass.
You know, people as they approach where Liv go, look at that moon over there, and they say that's no moon, that's a conservatory.
I just found it hideous in every single aspect. Every frame of this movie was offensive. Every word uttered was offensive. The acting was diabolical. The accents were atrocious. I can't say words. I've lost the ability to form words and cohesive sentences because of this bloody movie. I don't even know why I'm still talking about it. I hate you all. Fuck you all.
Nice. Cool. Well, yeah, Jim?
Well, then, I mean, I knew of this film's reputation. I got early word of how awful it was, and I avoided it when it came out, and I've done a pretty good job up until now avoiding it completely, apart from bits I saw on the TV.
Happy to help.
Yeah, wonderful. And so, but you know, I thought I'll go into this. Right, let's try and take this on its own terms. Let's not use the original series as a stick to beat it with, because that'll be like shooting fish in a barrel. And I still ended up kicking it to death in a gutter. I mean, it was just awful. I mean, I'll give it. The one thing I can say, what annoyed me is it looked brilliant. It was just a shame about everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, where to start? I mean, I'll answer firstly. It's kind of this. The trouble with this movie. I mean, I said I wasn't going to bring in the original series, but I fear I must, because it's kind of. This is so unlike the Avengers.
Well, you don't cash in on it and then expect this not to be compared against it, surely.
Well, no, but I mean, if you are, I mean, you could at least get it wrong, but it's like, it wasn't just getting the Avengers wrong. It was thrashing around like a chameleon on a tartan rug. I mean, Steed driving an old roadster. Hang on, didn't Patrick McGowan do that in The Prisoner? Is someone memory going a bit?
No,
look,
he
he's
didn't
driving
drive
into
that.
an underground car park where the Ministry is. Hang on, that is the start of The Prisoner. And then it starts thrashing around wilder, and it's kind of it's parodying bits of Bond. It's parodying some of those mad '60s spy caper things like Flint. It's parodying Monty Python. It seems at some stages. It's just all over the place. It doesn't know what it's trying to do. Now, the Avengers worked by being sort of psychedelic and arch and knowing, because the backdrop of the Avengers was the rest of the '60s. You know, the humour and the strangeness of the Avengers worked because it was subverting the kind of silliness of other spy shows, and also just reflecting the general sort of the air of sort of, you know, creative anarchy that gave us the Beatles, gave us Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, that gave us, you know, Monty Python. Once you take that away in this remake, it's thrashing around like a fish without water. I mean, the reason London is deserted, because that's like a clever nod to the fans. Because in the original Avengers, among fans, it's joked that it wasn't filmed in England. It was filmed in Avengers Land, where nobody else lives. And that was because they avoided showing anybody else because they couldn't afford extras. And this takes it to this stupid extreme where it's kind of, it's like they're the last people on Earth. And it's kind of, it doesn't know whether it's set in the 60s, the 70s, or God knows when. It gives you no reason to care. You know, it is just horribly misconceived. I mean, I'd be interested to see what the full cut was like, because evidently there are huge chunks missing that make it even more unintelligible. But even so, that footage wouldn't help because of the aforementioned problems. But the biggest problem of it all is the fact that Uma Thurman is far too busy concentrating on doing an English accent badly to deliver the lines well. As one of the critics said, it's something I speak on. There's no chemistry between her and Steed, and he's no better either. He just can't deliver those lines the way. Say Patrick McNee, he'd made a lot of those lines funny because he'd deliver them with a twinkle in the eye, not camping it up, but just flirting with camping it up. And it's kind of. It just doesn't work. The script's trying so hard to get that banter from the 60s, but it doesn't work when, you've got this pair of planks just banging against each other like the world's two biggest stick insects trying to start a fire in a Boy Scout hut.
Well, funny enough, I actually wrote a little note about that because I was writing down notes as I was watching it, and for the kissing scene, I actually said 2 emotionless automatons bump heads and pretend it's kissing.
Well, that's the other thing that was wrong as well. Steed was too young. Steed should be a bit older than Mrs. Peel, and they should be flirting, but they should never be snogging. That ruins the dynamic otherwise. And it just doesn't. None of this works at all. Apart from it had some nice sets and some nice visuals, but everything just bobbins. It really is bad.
Them kissing was like the Mulder and Scully thing that should never have happened.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It wasn't supposed to at all. It's a biggest crime for this show as Judge Dredd taking off his helmet in the fucking Stallone movie. It's just, you don't do that. That's it. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. But, okay, fair enough. If that's the biggest crime this film commits, I'll tell you. So, Darren.
Okay. For me, I'll start off with some stuff that he tried and I thought it kind of got right.
Okay. Interesting tack.
Interesting tack. It's got nothing to do with the actual story.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the technical aspects of it.
Okay.
From what I could see of the opening sequence, the acting was exactly like it was in the fucking 60s. Okay. You look at it again, you look at the way that Sean Connery delivers his lines the first time you fucking meet him when he's in that bloody greenhouse.
Where he actually tries to do a Scottish accent.
He actually tries to do a Scottish accent.
It's the weirdest thing.
Exactly. It's just an amalgamation of accents now. That's it. That all sound like Sean Connery.
Sean Connery trying to do an Okai Danu.
Yeah, Sean
It's like,
Connery, Jimmy.
I thought, fuck my brutes. It's a Scottish man trying to do a Scots accent.
Someone who once was Scottish trying to do a Scottish accent.
It was just like it was like the acting equivalent of being in one of those mirrored boxes. And looking at yourself hundreds of millions of times. Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
But secondly, the way the actual angles at which it was shot, the way it went between actual changes in the way the camera was pointing, that is exactly the way, from what I remember, that's exactly how they kind of did it in the show anyway.
Okay.
So there you go. Again, nothing to do with the story or the acting itself, the quality of the acting. And to tell you the truth, from what I remember, I didn't see any more crazy shit in this than I'd seen in the original show anyway. I'm pretty sure they got attacked by fucking teddy bears in the original TV series.
There's something similar to that, and there is an episode, a surfeit of H2O, which has the same plot as this, about a maniac with a weather machine.
Probably acted a lot better, but
a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, a lot more entertaining.
A lot shorter as well.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I mean, as you pointed out about the bits being dropped, I think there was something like 31 minutes cut out of this, which emphasises the whole thing of they're trying to make Mrs. Peel look like she's going mad, and it's kind of lulling the audience. There's a whole thing about her keep seeing her dead husband, and also explaining a bit more about the actual other Mrs. Peel and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is fine.
Don't know if it makes it any better of a film, but that was in there.
Yeah, well, for what it's worth, the amount of times everyone said, "I feel like I'm seeing double."
Yeah,
and yet there's a Mrs. Peel that talks, and then there's a
Would you
Mrs.
like
Peel.
some tea?
There's a Mrs. Peel that talks, and there's a Mrs. Peel that doesn't talk, and one stands there and punches you in the face. The other one just scowls at you,
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's like that bit with Mother. I don't know which one to save. It's like, how about
save the one that doesn't talk, because
Yeah.
she's getting she's now sort of like flipped the switch in her brain. She's concentrating on trying to act now rather than trying to do an accent.
Anyway, carry on.
But
Carry
anyway,
on.
yes. I can confirm now that this wasn't set in the 60s. And I
Really?
shall tell you for why. Because there's one bit when they're on top of the Lloyds of London oil rig building, right? Okay. And they look over there. You see a bit where it kind of shoots out to the buildings behind it. And it's like, well, I know that building over there because I work actually in that area. Right? I can see 6 to 8 Bishopsgate sat right next to Lloyds of London, which it is. It showed that slightly in shot. But you turn round and you see a building that was only completed about 10 years ago. Not even that directly behind it. So it's, yeah, this ain't in the 60s. So when the fuck are you set?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I don't think that's a major issue compared to everything else. But
Well,
yeah.
you know,
I know. I mean, I'm just saying this film's got a fucking
it's
shopping
got
list.
too many issues to
Yeah.
say. The fact that, I mean, what use is Steed in this, really? He keeps getting his ass handed to him by every fucker.
Everyone.
Every fucker that isn't a henchman.
No, everyone, including fucking, was it?
Yeah.
Uma Thurman in a black bear costume.
What's the... I mean, it's restricted movement. Yeah, she still kicks his ass. This is it.
Yeah.
So, he was a bit fucking useless. I'm sorry, but Uma Thurman is no Diana Rigg. At all.
No.
There was a reason why she was popular. There was something about the way she delivered all those lines. Just her in general, the way she just moved, everything.
Oh, yeah.
And none of that was present in Uma Thurman at all.
Oh, no.
No. She just seemed to not know what the fuck she was doing most of the time. And where do I need to be? Where's my mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no. But Ralph Fiennes as Steed, I don't know.
It was just a long streak of piss with a bowler hat on him.
Yeah, who wasn't any good at fighting.
No.
I'm pretty sure the other Steed was a lot better at fighting than him. You know, and
Well,
way
the
he
other
did
speed
it.
was so smart he didn't actually have to fight most
Exactly.
of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, so watching this, it kept cropping up in my mind was kind of how The Kingsman was a better Avengers film than this was.
God, yes.
Actually,
And how Colin Firth, if you wanted to do a modern day Steed,
yes.
Oh, man, that's a great suggestion.
Well, funny enough, when I was watching it, the first thing that leapt to my mind was Kingsman. The scene in the church compared to the opening scene with Steed. It was just like chalk and cheese. I mean, it was like so boringly directed, that fucking fight scene at the beginning. And it was just like, I'm suddenly thinking, no, you put Colin Firth in there and get someone who can actually move the camera rather than just pick it up and place it in a corner and just hope that someone wanders into shot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like, it would have just been brilliant, but
Patrick Macnee was, I mean, he wasn't a slight fellow either. Ralph Fiennes is more, is quite, he hasn't as...
But he can be intimidating. In Bruges, he was intimidating.
He can be, but it's just physically, his presence wasn't as big as Patrick Macnee. That's it. It's Colin Firth has got the right sort of build for the role, I think, personally. So, yeah, going on what you say, I think he probably would have made a much better Steed.
Yeah. Of course, he would have only been like 12 at that point.
No, he wouldn't have. So,
No, he would have been like in his 20s.
yeah, well, there you go. Get him in.
Yeah, let's hope they don't remake this. Ever.
They'll have the new Avengers.
New.
The new Avengers, the next generation. Electric Boogaloo. There we go.
No, never mention that again.
Yeah, a bit of a washout, this one.
Right. Yeah, I for me, I have to say, this is the first time I watched it all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as I said last week, I sat there at Elstree, me and another effects guy and the director, and we were working late, and he said, we've got the screening room, shall we just hire a new film, and watch it in the screening room?
You've got a choice. Would you like to watch the Avengers, or would you like to just... I'll go behind you. I've got these 2 6-inch nails that I've banged through the bottom side of a table, right? Just the right distance for your eyeballs. I'll just take a running jump and fly kick you in the back of the head.
Exactly.
And take your eyes out.
Exactly.
Which one do you want to go for? Oh, I like the sound of the cinema.
Yeah. In hindsight, I would have gone for the nails. I mean, we went to the cinema literally just down the corridor. We had this biker guy turn up, and he had like the reels.
Yeah.
And we watched the film, and we were so bored with it and irritated with it. And we were watching it for nothing.
Yeah.
In an empty cinema, beautiful screening room, perfect sound. We even sent the projectionist home. We went, don't bother, just stop.
Yeah.
And we all stopped. I think it was around about the Wasps section.
Yeah.
And now watching it again, I think we made a right choice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking insultingly dumb, as Elton rightly points out. There's shit that just doesn't make sense, like the opening. Like so you've got this clone Mrs. Peel, and she has destroyed the Prospero project.
Yeah.
Why? First scene in the film, we get the whole of the film to explain it. But can any one of you three gentlemen tell me why she did it? Given that she's working for the guy who has the Prospero project.
Is it something to do with the Shield not being able to protect the country from the attacks of the weather, like the lightning strikes and stuff like that? Has it got anything to do with that? It's the only thing I could think that they could possibly want to take the Shield down for.
No idea. Because the Prospero project was the weather control. That was the company that was doing all the little weather in the
no,
balloons.
Hold on. Prospero was a shield over the country. It was an energy shield.
Was it?
Yeah. You see it on the thing. They show you this energy shield over the country.
They do?
You see it going down. Yeah.
Fuck.
I was watching the same version you were watching.
I know. That's fine. Wow. This is gonna be a long evening.
You've seen it before, though, Darren. So you had an advanced start.
I don't remember it.
I mean, I just see things like that and just go, yeah. It's the same reason why they go into giant hamster balls and go across a river. It's just, yeah. You do.
God.
And I wasn't even questioning any of this nonsense.
Well, I mean, okay. I'll tell you what. Here we go. I'll read you out my notes because it's probably easier. Right. So here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Right, okay, Avenger notes. 1 minute 44 in and the credits are shit. 5 minutes in, the fighting action and jumping over the car is so fucking lackluster and slow. 6 minutes in, everything is explained in the titles rather than in the story and the script. So everything, you never find out who Mrs. Peel is, you never find out who John Steed is, you don't find out about the ministry. It's all just little titles that just come up beside people's names just to tell you because they can't write a script. The story is clearly bollocks, shite innuendo, fucking tea. I mean, that whole thing. The story jumps straight to De Winter as being a suspect without a prior reason, while Peel is still currently a suspect and has clearly blown up the Prospero project. So she just goes, "No, I did not. Honestly, well, come into our secret base and we'll let you have all the secrets and we'll all work together in the secret base." It's like... And then Mother turns around and goes, "Oh yeah, well she may have some leads. Well then follow her. Why even?"
No, I'm going to have some tea.
Yes, after tea.
Like
of course, tea. Fuck off, tea. I literally wanted to take the building of PG Tips and just blow it up. I have no interest in tea right now at all. Yes. Oh fuck! Sean has appeared and has more ham on screen than an episode of Peppa Pig. Fucking Sean is actually trying to do a Scottish accent. Fucking tea! Capitals! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! We're only 24 minutes in. 24 minutes in. Steed has been shot. Thank fuck this film is over. Oh bugger! He's still alive. Cunts in bear suits. Will to live fading. I thought I was seeing double. Oh Christ, this is interminable. More weather puns than Batman and Robin. What's that noise? Why, it's an appallingly badly animated CGI wasp. Sir August de Rehypnol. Now this is one point actually. He, for some reason, he just decides that he wants to have relations with Emma Peel and her.
I want you.
And her sexy boobies. You will remember nothing as I stick you in this little box and press these buttons and make you forget nothing. He does that, but doesn't he have a sexy Emma Peel henchman clone?
I'm going to play the shut up, that's why, Gus.
Maybe she's knocked him back.
But if she's the clone that he's been training...
She doesn't talk, which is an advantage.
Yes, she doesn't have to try and do that shitty English accent. So why would he want the real Emma Peel if he's got a perfect in every way and actually...
Oh, we don't know if it's perfect in every way. There could be bits missing.
Yeah, right.
It could be like, the frog DNA that they use in Jurassic Park for the dinosaurs. Yeah. Maybe he had to replace it with marmoset DNA.
Marmoset vag.
Yeah, and she's got, I don't know
chicken,
what marmosets have.
She's just got one hole.
Yeah, it's hard to sex a chicken. Yeah, the other thing, right, I'm looking at the notes here. It says they arrest Emma Peel, or rather father arrests Emma Peel, forgetting the fact that father is completely as blind as a bat. Yeah, somehow always seems to have better than Daredevil kind of reflexes and what have you. But they arrest her. They put her in a padded cell. They put her in a long sleeve coat. They chain her up. They've got her out of the way. So why is it then, after questioning her about nothing in particular, they suddenly enter the prison, gas her, and then kidnap her from the jail cell?
Oh, I think I remember now why old Sean wants to get his half his underwear.
Yes. Sean wants to get his de winter wet
and stuff and things.
Yes.
It's because there's an old picture on a wall of a woman who looks strangely like Emma Peel. I'm guessing that must be his mum or something. I don't know, which makes it all the more weird. So you want to do funny things to your mum?
But it's, again, and he has a clone.
Yes.
That he could have done a lot with, if he was that way inclined.
He has a clone of his mum dressed up in leather. No, this is all.
Whoa.
No, stop it. This is going down a dark path.
Back from the abyss. Reel it back.
Anyway, so I'm going through the notes. Which Mrs. Peel will you release the mother? Oh, I don't know. How about the non-evil, non-scowly one that seems to be unconscious, perhaps? Christ, this is fucking stupid as all hell. Two emotionless automatons bump heads and pretend it's kissing. How now, brown cow? Fuck all this shit. Once we're getting told once again, we're getting told about the detecting rather than see it happen. Oh, fucking deed, Eddie. Eddie, why is the assistant feeding mother macaroons when he has full control of his arms?
I've got nothing.
Eh?
You notice at the end, mother, after he's done his sort of wheelie in the snow and he's lying there on his back,
Don't worry about me.
Don't worry. Go rescue the balloon. He does that, and then you see him again, and he's holding the phone. And he's talking to Steed. No, he's talking to the Prime Minister about where Steed and Emma Peel are.
Yeah.
Then he puts the phone down, and then he cuts away, and then it cuts back to him, and the assistant is feeding him macaroons. And it's like his arms don't work.
Well, maybe he's so kind of depressed by the situation that his arms have just stopped working. That's it.
Maybe he can't.
I get depressed arms.
Maybe he just can't pick up the check. He hasn't got the guilt's too much.
It's the wallet or he's got pockets on his arms and he's got the money that he made from the film.
And it's just holding him down.
It's holding him down. It's weighing. It's
weighing heavy on his heart. On his career.
I can't move.
Oh,
I've got so much blood money from making this movie.
I'll never work again. I've lost the will. Anyway, the long and the short of it, the long and the short of it is this film is fucking stupid. I mean, it's genuinely fucking appalling in every conceivable way. I mean, you say it looks nice and the design looks nice, but even the design, it can't settle on an era. No. 1 minute the cars look like they're from the 60s. 5 minutes later, the whole thing looks like the 70s. Another 5 minutes, it looks like it's modern day. The fucking gadgets. 1 minute you got an iPhone, you got an iWatch on his fucking thing that can detect people in their boots. 2 minutes later, it doesn't work, and he's having to resort to sword fighting, and that whole bollocks in the thing I really didn't get was it seemed like they knew he was De Winter. He's attacked them several times in several different situations, and they leave, and then come back. So they go he attacks Emma Peel, kidnaps her, tries to cyber rehypnol her or whatever, traps her in some kind of weird Escher looping thing, and then she escapes, and Steed fights fucking De Winter in the maze, walks around the outside of his building after De Winter makes a run for it for no discernible reason, and then they all go, okay, and it cuts back, and next thing you know, you're in Steed's house, and it's like, shall we have tea? It's like, why the fuck have you left? Why the fuck have you left that mansion? You know he's there. You know he's just kidnapped Emma Peel. You've rescued her. You know that is it. Right there. Everything's there. Oh, no, we're going to go off and have tea, and then we can have this weird bollocksy plot about Mother falling for De Winter when she can't see shit, playing croquet. I mean, it just makes no fucking sense. If that was James Bond, that would be the equivalent of him getting into the volcanic lair, finding all the gear, and then going, oh, yes, I've got to have some tea. I'm off now. And then going all the way home to have a full conversation and have another fight with someone completely different before coming back again. And then he comes back again, and they have to come in those stupid fucking hamster balls across the water when there was no water around that area.
That's your problem with that scene?
No, I mean, apart from the fact it looks fucking... and who's going to blow up a Zorb outside? Who's outside blowing up the Zorbs for them? I've
never seen anyone walk in one of them Zorbs correctly. Never.
That's your problem.
Everyone uses their hands and feet, and that's bollocks the way they use them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
It's cock.
I would fill it up with stones and drown the bastards.
You're not bitter much, are you?
It's
I don't have ever heard you quite so angry, Elton. And I understand why.
I think we broke him.
Yeah, well, there's a
there's Sean Ryder in it as well. Fuck off.
Yeah. And he got gunned down by a granny.
He's got to eat, man. Ryder's got to eat.
Ryder's got to have his dental work done. I mean, the whole film just loses all cohesion and logic within 5 minutes. And from there on in, you're just watching shit happen. And none of it's connected to anything else. Everyone just seems to know what's going on. Nothing gets told. And the whole thing with De Winter just turning up going, I own this, I've got the power of the weather, and I show them. Yeah, I'm standing in my spot in the middle of Greenwich Maritime Museum, and I'm going to start warning every one of you that if you don't pay me a lot of money, I'm going to fuck up the weather. It's like, lovely, except for the fact that you're standing here in a venue with all the world leaders. So surely there's enough security guards in this area to basically fill you so full of holes that, frankly, you'd look like some kid went mad with a hole punch.
That would be too easy, though.
Well, that was the whole thing. Everything was too easy. This was a nonsense plot with nonsense villains doing nonsense shit that even the most rudimentary of heroes, any one of our shitty superheroes, could have taken care of this in 5 minutes flat. Oh, Mr. De Winter? Yes. Have you got a secret weather weapon? Yes, I've been working on it for a long time. Punch. Right, thanks. Done.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I'll have that. Cheers.
Stick it in my back pocket.
Instead of I'm going to turn up and have a kind of sly conversation with you in your greenhouse. Then I'm going to come back again and have another conversation and get rehypnoled. And then I'm going to come back again for a third time and look around your house again. And then I'm going to come back again. Oh, look, Granny's got coshed over the back of the head. Oh, I'm going to come back again in some fucking hamster balls. It's like, oh, I wonder where they could possibly be having the secret weapon.
In the room marked secret weapon.
It all but had that. It's fucking retarded movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's an offensive word for some people, but fuck off. I mean, seriously, this is a shit film. Seriously, it's so shit I can't actually bring the enthusiasm up. I haven't actually got any more rage. It's just I sat there just open-mouthed. It's just gobsmackingly shit. And as for the fucking 700 joysticks on a pad controlling the fucking Hornets. Yeah, they can't fly through a bridge. Oh no, they can't fly through that. But they can weave in and out of a forest at high speed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, when they blew up, they were clearly on strings as well.
Oh, you saw that where they just let them go out of shot to hit the tree, and then they just kind of hung there.
just bounced into
you
it.
You need to cut that a lot sooner.
Yeah. Editing's not this guy's forte.
No.
Well, there you go. I don't honestly have anything left to say. I don't have any. This film is just tedious. It is so tedious. You can't even get humour out of it because it's just there's nothing to. There's no point at which you just turn around and go, "That's funny. That's so shit. It's funny."
No, it's not to the point where it's so bad it's good. It's just plain bad.
Exactly. It's not even like sort of Room level of terrible, where you can turn around and go, "Yeah, that's just a fucking awful movie made terribly by a man who needs some serious psychiatric help." I mean, you could get humour out of that, whereas this is just incompetence. This is just gross incompetence. I mean, if this was anything else other than a movie, you would sue this person. You would sue everyone involved for negligence.
Yep.
It's just fucking shit. I mean, isn't it? I mean, I don't think there's a single redeeming thing in this film at all.
No. Even a bus fell over because it snowed.
Oh yeah, a bus fell over because it snowed.
They do that a lot, don't you know that?
Do they?
Yeah.
It's like tipping cows, is it?
Yeah.
Well, they actually go along on their roof when it rains as well. So
Yeah.
I'm not shitting you, Elton. You've got to come to London a lot more often. You don't see it out there in Yeldon.
Yeah. And by the way, if one more cunt in that film turned around and went, "Gee," I would have fucking screamed. I genuinely, that was something that was supposed to be funny, but that was like that mime bloke from the fucking Electric Boogaloo. You just knew that someone thought that was funny, and that was a funny thing on the set, but it ain't funny.
Do you know what? I don't
At
care
all.
about this movie so much. I'm actually going to get up and just go to the loo in a minute. You can carry on.
Okay. Well, I tell you what,
I've lost my will. It's just
I think I've lost my will too.
Exactly.
Shall we just wrap this up nice and quickly and have feedback?
Let's listen to other people who've also lost their will watching this film. This carnival of tortured souls.
Yeah.
Well, I think just to cap this off, we've watched a lot of bad films,
Yes.
and there are bad films that some people like, but I've never heard anyone even remotely try and defend this film.
Chris
Because
Johnson.
It being bad isn't a matter of taste. It is technical incompetence.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually measurably bad. It's actually something. It's like a barometer of bad. It's like take every element of filmmaking and see if you can make it as bad as this, or if it's not as bad as this, then you've succeeded.
You've done it right.
You've
But
succeeded.
If it looks like this, you've done it wrong.
Exactly. I could film myself putting on socks and make it more entertaining than this fucking movie. Seriously.
Is that your secret next project for Endemol? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
exactly. Yeah, Black Sock Drawer it's called. Anyway, right then, let's just hit pause and just take a second out before we take a long, slow dribble down the feedback shit heap. I'm not saying that everyone's shit, but I just know that there's no one who likes this film, and if there is, they need to be, as to quote Zaphod B. Rocks, they need to be caught and shot now. Roll the fucking jingle.
Feedback. Send your feedback. Lots of feedback. More feedback.
Okay, so here we go. Feedback, otherwise known as a long, long, long road of misery for a lot of people. So, let's start this wonderful shit caravan off with our friend Dave Deans, who's written in to say, and his subject is Total Gareth Hunt. So, he writes, opening on a poorly executed action sequence, the Avengers didn't endear itself. Just what the fuck were they trying to establish? Steed can beat people from the 1960s in really slow, unarmed combat? Well, fucking well done, posh boy. What the fuck are you going to do next? Sick on the chin for Andy Pandy, you fucking hero. Anyway, everything that followed just fucked me right the fuck off. Stilted. The script came from an ill-advised first draft of some sort of sub-Austin Powers fan fiction, and I fucking detest Austin Powers. To call the direction and staging workmanlike would be an insult to school nativity plays everywhere. And the performances? Jesus sweet Christ, the fucking performances. Yes, guys, the tone I'm going for is English as a second language, delivered as haltingly as possible so that it sounds like you're reading it for the first time. With a film so wretchedly acted, you'd think they'd be ruthless in the edit and inject some pace, or just cut the gaping fucking pauses out of the film. But no, all the momentum of coastal erosion, with the flair of a rotting wildebeest. Even the presence of the oddly rapey and possibly high on Werther's original Sean Connery couldn't raise the intolerable celluloid prolapse of to a guilty pleasure. If this was meant to be a slice of faux period kitsch curiosity designed to evoke a golden age of fantasy TV, then everyone involved can stick this steaming pile of poorly executed log of nostalgia right up their collective arses laterally. It amazes me that Connery waited until LXG to quit his acting profession. If anything, I bet this cinematic skid mark was the inciting incident. I don't think I've seen him look less interested on screen, but fuck it. Golf clubs don't buy themselves, and if ever there was a film that everyone involved claimed to be Alan Smithy on the credits of this rectal pustule of a film, this should have been it. Fuck this movie, never speak of it again. Oh, and fuck Jerry Weintraub, that massive, massive cunt. Dave. Thank you very much for that, Dave. Well, I got a sneaking suspicion he wasn't impressed. No.
I suspect he thought it was shit.
Yeah, I think he disagreed with the direction and the general, message the movie was trying to portray.
Something about it just put him off. I don't know what it was. So, Darren, without further ado, who do you have next?
Okay.
Which one are you going to attempt first?
I'm going to attempt the epic missive that Jack P. Starro has sent in. And,
lovely.
He said, special request to be read by Dazza in his excellent Sean Connery voice. I wouldn't say excellent, but please, I wrote it special like. So,
this is where he finds out he prefers my Sean Connery accent, and he should have sent it to me.
Yeah.
But go on, carry on.
No, this is where he prefers. I want it read out as Paul Daniels next time. Hello, Blackdog.
Lovely Debbie Mickey.
I liked it, but not a lot. So, see, that could be with the review, and that's it. We kind of get the message.
Yeah.
But, okay, I'm really sorry about this, people. All right? So
go for it.
Here we go. Dear Blackley, Dog Daz, Elto Steed, and Mrs. Moon. So, the Avengers. You seem to be doing an unwitting back-to-back of my dad's favourites. Not this movie, thank God, but the classic Avengers TV show that was one of my dad's favourites in New York. Around the same time he was into Star Trek, and he had a massive crush on Diana Rigg, like all men of taste and refinement, I'm guessing. I'd never seen the original series at the time. First I saw this film. Although I was certainly aware of it, I thought the movie was pretty terrible. Despite having fleeting moments of captivation at Sean Connery's resplendentness in his kilt, and the pants-tinting charms of Uma Thurman, in not one but two different leather catsuits, shuffering shuckatash. Looking back at it now, and after having been exposed to maybe a dozen episodes of the vintage show, my opinion has changed. Oh, don't get me wrong, I still think it's a shitty film, but now I have a better idea of what's going on for it, what it's got going for it. It's unquestionably... Sorry, I can't do this in this. I'm going to end up talking like a bloody Welsh bloke in a minute.
Just read it. Read it.
Just read it.
You gave it a shot.
I'm sorry, Jack, but I can feel my tongue just about to wrap around the fucking
back of your head.
Back of my throat.
Go for it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I still think it's a shitty film.
Shitty film.
Shitty. I'll try and do bits in Sean. But now I have a better idea of what it was going for. It's unquestionably crashed and burned, but at least now I have some vague sense of which off-ramp it was desperately trying to careen towards on two wheels, rather while the others came flying off. Because as badly made, nonsensically edited, and painfully scripted as this film is, I'm guessing that the main thing most people can't stand about this movie is the hypercamp jelly bean supposition... suppository of upper panto dame's clacker of a... Sorry, I can't read this. I can't even read this in my own fucking accent. But it's now clear to me that this weird tone is no accident. No flight of... Lee, read it. You read.
Okay.
I'm not good with big words, Jack. All right? Okay? I'm not good with big words.
I'm not good with small writing.
Oh, we're fucked.
Okay, right, fine. Okay. Because it's badly made, nonsensically edited, and painfully scripted as this film is, I'm guessing that the main thing most people can't stand about this movie is its hypercamp, jelly bean suppository, up the panto dame's clacker of a tone. But it's now clear to me that this weird tone was no accident, no flight of spoof gone wrong for the material. It's an attempt to recreate the tone of the series. A failed attempt, I'll grant you, but having watched recent decent examples of the Emma Peel era, it was a pretty damn rum sort of show at the time, with shrink rays, underground fascist cults, costume party hostages on blimps, and all manner of surreal shenanigans. More than a spoof that on the spy genre than Get Smart, the Avengers had all kinds of bizarre jaunts into surrealism and pop art. It almost struck me as the kind of comedic modern cousin to The Prisoner, with a heavy overlay of camp via the teasing and unrequited sexual tension between Steed and Mrs. Peel. None of which excuses this film for being a steaming pile of substandard shoddy shite. But it does a steaming pile of substandard shoddy shite. But it does explain why he has such a bonkers tone, as though adapted by people who thought they liked the original, but really didn't get any of the subtleties of how and why it worked, and are fumbling instead with vagaries of expressing it's camp, or it's silly, in the same way that the makers of live-action Flintstones movies floundered about trying to find a way to say, see, it's a fucking cartoon. For me, the movie is neither fun enough to really entertain, nor offensive enough to make me really hate it outright. I like all the actors too much for starters, and even though they're doing a stupendously shitty job here, there are even moments I enjoy, such as MC Escher's Impossible Staircase moment, which felt very much like the show to me, and also the Teddy Bear Rainbow Coalition Summit. Yes, really. Really? Okay. Why? Because it's just so rampantly fucking absurd. And it's true. What the actual fuck moment? With those two scenes taken out, the whole thing would feel substandard Austin Powers movie. And those weird little touches give the film a little extra. Is it enough to save the movie? Oh, fuck no. What kind of shit-flinging madman do you take me for? No, ultimately, the only thing with this film is ultimately good for is Uma Thurman in leather catsuits. It's not even a difficult fap, because that's one grade A quality catsuit work by Fap Goddess in her particular Faptacular prime. If you're unlucky, some poor soul may have already pointed out that this film's incomprehensibility is partly due to its runtime being savagely slashed. Something I wouldn't give a skinny shite about, were it not for the fact that part of it that was cut was an extended sequence of Mrs. Peel's clone destroying Prospero's base, some footage of which is still in the trailer, in all its sensuous, cat-suited, lusciously lithe crocodile-skinned glory. Dear God, what kind of idiot makes a movie with two identical Uma Thurmans in it and never makes even a passing joke about it into twin fucking, or even any hot catsuit on catsuit action? Fucking deplorable retardation of the First Order. That is the true failing of this film, I tell you. Oh dear, I seem to have spent my, vitality. Oh well. Love and schlickened hairy palms. Jack. There you go. See, I've gotten used to it.
So you got a much better job at reading out that than I ever could. So.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I've almost improved over the last 6.5 years. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for that, Jack. I don't agree with you as it's aiming for a tone and missing. I just think it was just inconsistent.
Missing.
It's just missing. Yeah. It kind of, as you say, it kind of aimed for something and missed. But I don't think they even knew what they were looking at. It was just gibberish. Anyway. Moving on.
A child going for a pee-pee for the first time and missing.
Well, yeah. That still happens even in your 40s, though, Elton, let's be honest.
This is true. I'm looking forward to that, actually.
Sometimes you don't even make it to the toilet.
Sometimes you shit yourself on the way to the sheet.
You certainly do. Shitting on a sheet.
Shat on a turtle. Anyway, so Jim, who do you have next?
Next, I have Mr. Tom McCamberley.
Aha. Deja Tom.
Yeah, first time.
Yes.
First time feedback.
As now he will be known.
Yes.
Subject, Sean Connery, Stamen Fondler.
Oh, God, yeah, oh, God. Go on.
Dear Blackdoggers, sigh. Oh, Avengers, how can something that I hold in such high regard and fondness be reduced to such a confusing fucking mess? Oh, right. Nobody having a fucking clue how it should work.
Yep.
Now, let's get these bits out of the way. I have no problem with Fiennes and Thurman. They did the best with what they had, and I can't find fault with that. Secondly, McNee. Pat, I don't know what they had on you, but really, no conservatory is worth your cameo. Though, I must admit, hearing his voice was like an oasis in a desert of cluelessness. Now to those responsible for this abomination. Yes, The Avengers is a whimsical show. And yes, it will occasionally have bits of weirdness. But it doesn't have strange elements just to be fucking strange. Why the cloned Mrs. Peel? Why the fuck the bee drones? Why is De Winter like a variety pack of Bond villains? Why must he play an organ, raise rare orchids, lust after the female lead, cheat at lawn games, and for the love of Mrs. Why the fuck did he fucking dress as a fucking teddy bear? You can tell how little faith the filmmakers have in this film from just the fucking start of that abysmal font and using every fucking wipe known to man, woman in the titles. If you can't decide on a single format, using them all isn't a solution. Seriously, if your titles run the risk of being more interesting than the film, you've got fucking problems. And the desperate attempt to try and garner some sort of goodwill by using various bits from old episodes of The Avengers, like the house that Jack built with Mrs. Peel caught on an Escher print, McGowan's The Prisoner with the drive into the Ministry, the Bond references. I think I spotted Goldfinger, Octopussy, Moonraker, Diamond's Eye Forever, and other Bond bits that may or may not be present, but I'm having none of it. If you can't invoke goodwill from your fucking story, then wrapping it in the trappings of better properties an act of desperation at best. And finally, Sean fucking Connery. No. Just no. Fuck no. At this point, I'm just shouting madly because I'm just so fucking angry that such a good and worthy show got treated in such a cavalier and haphazard manner, and that I've used the word fuck so many times it's lost all meaning to me. That's it. That's all I've got. The Avengers is a fucking mess and doesn't deserve any closer examination except as an alternative to liquid manure. I'm off to go and watch some classic episodes now until the word fuck means something to me again. Later, Deja Tom.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much for that, Tom. I don't think he liked it either.
Really? That's not what I heard. You've got to read
I'm
between the
sensing a
lines.
pattern.
I am sensing a pattern. I suspect we could all just go home early if we just turned around and didn't read any of this shit out and just went, everyone hated it. But unfortunately that would be unfair, seeing as everyone's watched it to hate it. Oh, well, thank you very much for that, Tom. So, Elton, who do you have next?
I have Martin Thompson here.
Ah, Martin Thompson. And what does he have to say?
He says, macaroons.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Carry on.
Good evening, chaps of the Blackdog. The Avengers was a mystery monocle for me, and I'm only a passing knowledge, and I only have got a passing knowledge of the TV show. In fact, they have been rerunning it recently on True Entertainment Channel, so I've been able to catch a few episodes. Overall, I found parts of it enjoyable. Oh dear. But it went too over the top, trying to be quirky. Ralph Fiennes was better steed than I thought he would be, and the opening scene was good. Uma Thurman was okay as Mrs. Peel, not Pooh. And although I enjoyed the banter between the two, I thought it felt forced, and that the script was trying too hard to make us care about them, so we can get on with the plot. Also, in what world would you invite your prime suspect to your secret base for tea and macaroons? Confront her with the evidence, and then invite her to help your best agent solve a fucking crime.
My point exactly. I brought that up.
By the end, I was losing track of which Mrs. Peel was which, and who was meant to be hypnotised. Her style also seemed to veer between the 60s inspired outfits, a catsuit with a really large buckle, and those Chinese-style dresses that were popular back in the 1990s. Oh, and fucking teddy bears. Now, that really was trying to be too quirky. Jim Broadbent's part was built up, and Eddie Izzard didn't get much to do than look vaguely menacing and chew gum. In fact, I would be surprised if he met Emperor Palpatine on the way down during that final fight, which looked like it took place on the Death Star.
Yeah.
A sub-Bond style ending for the two floating down the Thames, and they even shared a kiss, which I'm sure probably annoyed some fans, since their relationship was always supposed to be platonic. Even the 10th Doctor had better excuses for kissing someone than Steed. Still, at least we had the lovely Keeley Horns, is that right? In a black mini dress.
Keeley Hawes.
Keeley Hawes.
She was the lady in the weather company, taking them down into the basement.
Oh, yeah. This film tried too hard to recreate the quirky, the quirk of the series. It's succeeded in some way, and the plot of someone trying to control the weather feels like it would have fitted in the series, but it was just overdone. In the end, despite the quips and the puns, I never felt much for Steed and Peel. Cheers, Martin.
Thank you very much for that, Martin. And you know what? That's as close to a positive review as we've had so far.
Yeah, he almost liked it.
Almost. Yeah, well, if he did, we'd have to have a word, wouldn't we, really? Let's be honest.
We have to send the teddy bears round.
Yeah. Right, let's move on quickly. And the next piece of feedback for me is from Michael Cornett, the belly stapler himself. And so he writes, he says, trying to get his emails clear so he can actually see what's going on. Right. Greetings, Black Doggers from the lost continent beneath the Pacific. We drilled into Lemuria and finally found Lemurians, and they're interesting people, rather civilized, although they dress like Cher. Even the guys. I saw Chunks eyeing the outfit, and it could be interesting or disturbing. At any rate, they took us into their city, a gaudy affair like something from a pulp magazine. Everything about these folks is gaudy, it seems. Even the food is gaudy. Anywho, they wanted to sample some popular surface culture, so I decided to show them the Avengers, because it was such a big hit a couple of summers ago. You know, Iron Man, Hulk, all that. And it turns out that Captain Throbchester brought the wrong movie. He'd brought the other Avengers. Oh, shit. What a shitty film. I mean, shitty. It's well known to have been poorly edited and left incoherent, But I have a tiny bit of morbid curiosity about the parts that were cut out, and wondered if they would help it make a sense. But on a second watch, I realised that even the bare bones of this film are all wrong. There's quirky, in inverted commas, touches that seem to be thrown in there for no real reason than to call back to the old series and make little sense in the context of the story. And then there's the stars. I mean, Fiennes and Thurman are okay actors, but they don't have the chemistry of Steed and Mrs. Peel need, and the characterisation's all off. Mrs. Peel's often twitchy and nervous when she needs to be cool and collected. Steed, who was charming cad and fought dirty in the series, has become a by-the-book straight arrow agent of the movie, and as a result, he's rather dull. So much of this is so off that the few decent parts jump out at you. The only decent performance in the flick was Eileen Atkins as Alice, who does a great job with a line about how the villains will make it colder and colder until we all have to go to hell just to warm up. And the chase with the robot bees was actually aged well. Back in the day, it just seemed silly. But now drones are everywhere, and actually it's a bit prescient. But sadly, it's not enough to make the whole thing worthwhile. I've been learning a bit of cane fighting recently, so I did take some interest in Steed's umbrella skills, but that's about it. It's so off. It tries so hard to capture the old series, but never really gets it. There's a fundamental lack of understanding going on in this flick, and they just needed Brian Clements. And that's all for now, I guess. In all seriousness, I need to thank you all for the best wishes about my mother. She's plugging along with the chemo, and it seems to be doing well. I can't say this around her, but so I'll say it here. Fuck cancer. Love and hugs, Michael Belly Stapler Cornet. dustandcorruption.blogspot.com. Thank you very much for that, Michael. And again, good best wishes to your mum. Hope everything's continues to improve, and fuck cancer indeed. Cool. Right. Darren? He's asleep. He has actually gone to sleep. He has gone to sleep.
Poke him.
Darren.
What?
Darren, you're up.
I'm up.
It's your fucking feedback, you brat.
I know, sorry.
Sorry, I didn't need to say brat, sorry.
Gonna hit you now.
Sit in the microphone.
Shall I do while you get him a coffee? Or
Tea?
Nil solution.
T, fuck off, T. Right, Darren, do you have feedback?
I don't think I've ever had a film that, without even watching it, sucked all the energy out of my entire person. It's doing it by osmosis. It's not even here. It's
not even a comfortable chair that you're sitting on. I don't quite understand how it's worked. Go on, then. So who do you have?
Who do I have?
Yes.
I have Scott Matheson.
Scott Matheson.
Yes, indeedy.
Okay.
I have it here. And Scott writes, Good evening, Lee, Darren, Jim and Elton. May I congratulate you all and Laura for your excellent efforts supporting comic relief. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention the subject of this email. It's Super Ted's Cut Rate Porn Party. Wasn't entirely sure how to listen to a cast of you watching a film, not swearing, and not watching it myself, how it would turn out. It was, however, very entertaining as always, very well done to all, and a very well done to the Blackdoggers out there who supported you. Now, here we look at the Avengers, and I was already to be sat in the bunker in time for tea, all in my lonesome. I have fond memories of seeing this in the cinema. Really? On a first date, no less. Is that the only date it was? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
We learnt a lesson from that one, didn't we, Scott?
First and only date.
Yeah. I remember it being as camp as Christmas in the most wonderful ways. I was ready to defend this film for the romp it was, for the sheer delight the actors seemed to have in playing these utterly ridiculous roles, and I was even ready to use the it's so bad it's a good defence. I was resolved to enter the bunker of Shun on my own free will and volition. Then, of course, I watched it, and the format of this cast came into play. Rose-tinted specs? I fucking think not. Shit-covered goggles. Almost a cunting compliment for the abortion of cinematography. Is it just me, or does absolutely none of this cock-gobbling mother bitch pile of mad dung shite make any sense? Oh, you're such a poet.
It's a
if I weren't married, Scott, if I weren't married.
Beautiful lyrics worthy of the bard.
Exactly.
Carry on.
Even if Uma Thurman had been wearing a body paint catsuit, there would have been no redeeming facet of this genetically defective arse sphincter. The script is contrived, forced, and there is zero chemistry between any of the cast, let alone Steed and Peel. Listen, I know these people can act. We have all seen it. Fiennes, Thurman, Broadbent, Shaw, and yes, even Hammy Monster have all given decent, at times, actually bloody good performances in other productions. So what the fuck happened here? Talk about actors calling it in, as well as writers, producers, cameramen, even the fucking runners were calling it in. This is a film that should never have been made. I mean, robotic wasps with fricking lasers. Where the shit did that come from? The teddy bear's picnic was the other thing, but mother humping laser-packing wasps was just a step too far in my book. The best line of the film, and when I say best, it's like saying Hitler's best qualities, was when the little Miss Marple bird came away with the cocky little bastard. And the only reason I consider this the best is because I honestly wasn't expecting it. Worst line of the film? Every fucking thing else. So, everybody in this film was shockingly bad, especially Ezzy Izzard's henchman. So, I got bloody on fire. Yeah. I love a bit of Death Star Canteen like the rest of us, but fuck me with a bender. No one was worse than Sean. Excuse me while I build a conservatory and eat a ham sandwich with extra pork loin and Cumberland sausage while wearing a bacon hat and being more rapey than any Bond film Connery. Jesus, he needs to have that as a moniker. He wasn't so much chewing the scenery than he was choking on the fucking stuff. Or maybe that was me hoping he would bastarding choke on it. When I saw him in his full Scottish regalia, I wanted to leap through the screen and shove those grouse feathers up on his head so far up his arse that they would tickle his vulva. Cunty McCuntyson of the Clan McCunt. Stupid plot, stupid villains, stupid final showdown with an exceptionally stupid ending. Oh, fuck it. I've wasted enough spunk on this fucktardery already. Off to inject snake venom up my urethra. It has to be more enthralling than this wank stain of a putrid festering ham was. On a lighter, more excited note, it looks like it is still...
still Watchmen.
Still Watchmen next week. So I shall prepare my cocksucking praise for everyone's enjoyment. As always, chaps, let the good times roll. Scott, Peacock Fondler, Matheson.
Thank you very much for that, Scott.
The man's a poet. It's fucking Shakespeare.
It is. I'll tell you what, it's more entertaining than 2 hours of that fucking crap movie.
Yes.
Oh, that was good.
That's revitalised my energy. That's
my
battery levels are full now.
Yeah.
I feel the bile and vitriol sort of
lifting you
flow through me. See, I can't even fucking talk properly. I'm not even reading anything.
Tea?
Drugs.
Yes.
Thank you. Speed.
So, moving on. Thank you very much for that, Scott.
I need some water.
I need something. Jim.
Well, next up, we have another regular, Happy Dave.
Ah, Dave Renane.
Yes, indeed.
Man Down Under.
Subject line, The Avengers. A shamble. Say it like Sean.
Ah.
Oh, Mr. Peel sorely needed. Oh, how now, you dopey cow? Oh, Steed is wooden despite his plight. Emma's just a load of shite. Hello, chaps. Congratulations on the Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo comic relief quest and Lee's epic recovery from powdered sugar treachery. Could have been sugar-powered treachery as well, though, couldn't it?
Yes, it could have. It works either way.
So, the Avengers. How do I loathe thee? Let me count the ways. I really enjoyed the original TV series, and it made part of my late-night viewing in my teens, along with reruns of shows like Survivors or The Prisoner. More recently, I've discovered the earlier black and white stories, where the show was far more serious and Cold War-based. So I think it's fair to say that watching the film now is like the proverbial kick in the knackers. Repeatedly. The weird thing is there are elements of the original show clearly there. The cars, the fashions, some of the plot points, even a line or two. It's just they've been so badly strung together, marinated in wrong sauce, and then put in an oven dialed up to 11. And all that's come out is both half-baked and overcooked at the same time. Jim will have probably have covered this, but mother and father come from the later, dafter Tower of King stories. And while the whole thing with the kinky boots harks back to the pre-Advil adventures, they can't get the iconic theme tune in the credits right either. That and those gigantic balls that roll across the opening credits do not bode well. The biggest problem is the leads. In an internet-breaking move, they have created the only love story worse than Twilight. Banter that should have been witty and sharp in the original series now just seems overblown and oversuggestive, and is put in the mouths of a couple who have absolutely no chemistry together and completely mismatched timing. I don't know if it's because you have two fairly serious actors trying and failing to camp it up, but everything that should have been playful and light now comes across as unrelentingly smug and po-faced. These two wouldn't recognise a humorous portrayal if it was issued via suppository. No, they don't like it up 'em, but that might explain some of the acting. Ralph Fiennes seems somewhat lost and bemused half the time, and Uma Thurman. Well, let's just say it's not because of all the falling and tumbling of disintegrating ledges that makes me think of the term crumbling stunt to describe her Emma Peel almost perfectly. I mean, here is a film that has had Eddie Izzard in a nearly non-speaking part. No, hang on. Acid flashbacks to Mystery Men. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. Has James Bond ever had anal sex with the Queen? Because Sean Connery has royally buggered this franchise. Actually, no, that's not fair. For all the scenery munching and eyebrow waggling on an industrial scale, Connery is the only cast member who seems to recognise the kind of film he's supposed to be in and embraces the required level of crazy. See how he manages the 10 inches overnight line compared to everyone else. The problem is he is playing the devil-may-care, laid-back hero. Steed and Peel should have been, in a film that would have been better served by a much more serious and straight villain. That line about Steed always playing by the rules in the original series, Steed was always the first to bend or sidestep them. And with that in mind, I'll dust off my ticket to the bunker, because, to my surprise, I didn't mind the teddy bears this time. The scene where the villain confronts his minions and offers them an escape with a golden handshake is such a huge cliche, especially in Connery films like Goldfinger or The Untouchables. You have to puncture the pomposity of it all somehow. I sort of get it this time around. But what the fuck was up with all that blue eyeshadow? And don't get me started on the whole protons, ions, antimatter thing. Now, excuse me while I recover from this film atrocity by getting hypothermia lying in the snow while having a fag. I don't smoke, but anything is better than this. Happy, ? Dave.
Thank you very much.
P.S. Hobbitses? Fiendish Dr. Donut, you done fucked up now. Drops Bilbo Baggins' novelty mank and stomps off as fast as his hairy little halfling feet can carry him.
Thank you very much for that happy ? Dave. Yeah. I don't think you're allowed. I don't think we can put you in the bunker just for liking one scene. I think if you like the film, you'll get a whole wing to yourself.
It's kind of like a drowning man will reach for any spa, even if it is a novelty dildo.
Exactly, in a nutshell. Thank you very much. Okay, so Elton, who do you have next?
Our resident troll, Lee Harvey.
Okie dokie. Yes, resident Rocky soon.
Yeah.
Rocky the troll.
I thought you meant Rocky the tasty biscuit snack. No?
Maybe.
Okay.
Go on, then. Anyway, what does he have to say?
Subject, more tea? No, fuck off.
Nice.
Evening, chaps. I'd hoped to troll Lee this evening by having exact opposite opinion to him. But instead, you've served up this bag full of fuckwittery. Whatever Lee says, I agree. I had to pay £2.50 to watch this shit. Cunt. Ta-ta. Lee. Stop reading here, Elton. Sent from my HTC.
Oh God, we're not paying for that, you know. There's no way. I mean, I know.
We don't redeem any
No.
coinage whatsoever.
No, none at all. I mean, I know we've suddenly come into 450 quid, but
Suckers.
No, we're not paying £2.50. Oh dear. Yeah. Okay, fine. Let's move on. Thank you very much for that, Lee. The next piece of feedback is from Will Catlin Hallett, and he writes, well, hold on. His subject is, I'll give you 10 inches. Anyway, so here we go. Evening all. Just a quick word about breaking to Electric Boogaloo. Zarish and I decided that we should suffer along with you guys and watch it as well. What was most surprising is that it was a lot more enjoyable than I had expected. It's undoubtedly a terrible film. There is a mime that automatically relegates it to the status of third-hand toilet paper in a gastroenterology ward. Also, the hospital scene and the gang fight scene, the bad guys are pretty much unforgivable. On the other hand, once you work out the right way to approach this film, it suddenly seems like a lot better. It's a porn film, just with dancing instead of sex. All of the dialogue in it is just filler until the next orgy, and then when they've gone on long enough, they just stop. Hence the sudden change of heart with the bad guy and his parents. Ranked against other porn films, it probably stands up quite well. Make no mistake, I didn't get through it without swearing, but I did laugh a lot. Anyway, on to this week's film. The 1998 version of Avengers. What a fabulous film. It was exciting, stylish, and I had a great time watching it. I can't believe I've never seen it before. Don't worry, I'm taking the piss. It's a complete pile of shit-stained cunt biscuits. From the first line of dialogue, you know that this is going to be on par with primary school nativity play, with the stilted and unnatural speech, the wooden acting, and I guess they were trying to make it sound authentic, but they just sound like brainless cunts. And all the way through, I keep thinking that it couldn't possibly get any worse, and then it did. They tried so desperately hard to be funny, and they completely failed every time. The line about saving the world, after tea, of course, is exactly the same joke I made up aged 9 when doing a play in a day at our local theatre. It's not funny. It's just childish. This is the worst acting Sean Connery's, and is this the worst acting Sean Connery's ever done? It's hard to imagine anything worse, from the most pathetic attempt at double entendres ever. I'll give you 10 fucking inches in the fucking face. To the rising crescendo of music while he wanks on about something really dull.
Zardos.
Yeah, Zardos, yeah. It was excruciating every time he came on screen. His death scene was crap as well. So much of the scripting just seemed completely pointless out of place. You don't need a giant teddy bear costume to disguise who you are. This may have been funny if it had been handled correctly, but this just made me swear. I think a lot more so than Electric Boogaloo. Then you go into the maze, and it's what possible reason should you have for splitting up? I think they just thought, hey, we need to increase the dramatic tension. Let's do something stupid, instead of actually writing a script. Dramatic tension is not the be-all and end-all. I never got why they were going on anyway. Well, they were going there anyway. I guess they were heading for the house, but instead of wandering around in the maze for a while and then fucked off home at the first opportunity, and they abandoned Alice. How the fuck did they get back to Steve's flat anyway? I have read that there was a lot of cut out of this film, and if the studio had left it alone, then it would have made a lot more sense. It wouldn't have made the acting any better, though. Either way, it seems churlish to complain about the script when, frankly, that's the least of this film's problems. There was absolutely no chemistry between Steed and Peel whatsoever. So much so that when it came as a complete surprise when they started sucking face. It was like Ripley suddenly dry humping an alien. There was one highlight of the whole thing, which was Eileen Atkins' cameo and a great cocky little bastard. There was a small smile in the Mobius staircase, however obvious that was, and Eddie Izzard's final line of, "Oh, fuck." I love Eddie Izzard, but why would you cast him as someone completely silent and as menacing as a fluffy kitten? So overall, this film was dull, pointless, and a complete waste of time. I almost didn't make it through the whole thing. I stopped watching halfway through through on Sunday night and finished it off on Monday morning on my phone. I'm just relieved that I didn't pay for it. I had some Amazon Prime credits that covered the cost. Professor W. Hallett's Special School for Ungifted Youngsters. Thank you very, very much for that, Will. Yeah, sorry you wasted your Amazon credits, to be honest. Actually, I'm not that sorry. Everyone knows what they were getting into. We warned you. You knew the risks.
Regret nothing.
No. Darren, who do you have next?
I've got the Max Ridgway, or as we like to say Ridgway
Max,
the car-driving superhero.
From Capcom.
From Capcom.
Capcom. Go on.
Or from EA Games. It's in my ass.
EA Games.
Right, okay. So, his email was entitled, How Now, Brown Cow Pie? Feedback for the Avengers. Hello, Lee, Darren, Jim, and Elton. If anyone else is present, insert their name here. I paid $2.99 to watch this on Amazon last night. All I can say is there's $2.99 and 89 minutes I'll never get back again. Actually, I'm surprised to find out that the film was only 89 minutes long. It seemed much, much longer. In fact, I fell asleep part way into it. When I woke up, I saw a bunch of multicoloured bears sitting around a conference table. I assumed from the context clues that the black bear with the head on the table was the villain. When he took off his bear head and I saw that it was Sean Connery, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just embarrassingly awful.
Mm-hmm.
With all the big name talent in this film, one might reasonably expect it to be halfway decent. How could Ralph Fiennes be so bad? Although the film all through the film he's got this dopey blank Forrest Gump-like expression on his face and a bowler hat that's a size too big for his head. How could Sean Connery be so bad? You realise that this is the second Blackdog film in a row to feature a Shakespearean quoting villain. I kept thinking of McCoy's line from Star Trek VI, I'd give real money to shut him up.
Mm.
Now, Uma Thurman wasn't so bad, at least not as bad to look at in that black outfit. As my wife put it, it shows off her bouncy bottom, so I'll give her a pass, but she's no Diana Rigg.
Yeah.
Speaking of Diana Rigg, I used to watch this on television when I was a kid. I remember it being a bit campy, offbeat and slightly surreal at times. But this 1998 film is just plain dumb. Why did anybody think it necessary to make this film in the first place? I have fond memories of the original television series, but those memories have been defiled forever by this silly, tedious, time waster of a film. I guess you could... What's that? I guess you could put me in the didn't like it camp. Thanks for an always entertaining podcast. Cheers, Max Ridgway.
Thank you very much for that, Max.
She's gone now.
Yeah.
It's off.
Should have the music from Outrun. No, Outrun. Musical sound shower. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway. Right. Well, thank you very much for that, Max. Good feedback as ever. Sorry about the money. Again, we're not refunding. No regrets. So, Jim, who do you have next?
We have Mr. Phil Bellamy.
And what does he have to say?
He writes, subject line, Avengers, ass, emble. Hello again, great lords of the Black Dog. I remember hearing rumours about Avengers being awful before its general release. But I caught a trailer for it a few weeks later and it looked okay. Sean Connery holding the world to ransom over the weather? Why the fuck not? It was one of those weekends when there was nothing else on at the cinema, so I gave it a go. It's not even bad in a so bad it's good way. It's just horrible. Really horrible.
Yep.
I tried rewatching it last week to see if it was really as bad as I remember, and I couldn't get through it. The opening scene is sort of okay, with Ralph Fiennes looking the part, but then it just becomes a parody of itself and England in general and makes very little sense at all. This must be the Batman and Robin to hardcore Avengers fans, as it feels very Schumacher. When Connery drugs Uma Thurman and lays her on the bed, I had to turn it off. I mean, exactly what was he planning? Now, I don't know Avengers history well, but I do know the whole point of the main two characters is the chemistry between them that was integral to the show. And from what I remember, they kiss at the end of this film. And if the rest of the film wasn't bad enough, they also had to ruin that as well. This film really could do with a reboot, just so we can forget that this ever happened. Be seeing you, Phil, the Armadillo Frisker, Bellamy.
I'm glad everyone keeps tags on their superhero names. It kind of makes it easier for us. Thank you very much for that, Phil. Cool. Okie dokie. Well, let's move on. Elton.
Right.
Right.
Sit back and get comfy, guys.
Okay.
This is from Chris Johnson.
Oh, God.
Subject is Avengers Disassemble feedback.
Uh-oh.
Hello, Lee, Darren, Jim, Elton, and please add name if applicable. No, it's not, so we won't.
I think I'm just going to say fuck you before you go any further. I already get a sense I know where this is going.
The Avengers is in my top 5 guilty pleasure movies. I know it's not high art, and it doesn't really capture the essence of the original TV series. But for some reason, I like it. Ralph Fiennes plays a passable John Steed, but no one could ever beat Patrick McNee. Uma Thurman may not have been the best choice to play Emma Peel, but she's okay. Sean Connery does seem to have fun and not just playing it for a Royal Botanic Garden-sized conservatory. And
Really?
the movie itself just has a light-hearted feel, making it a good, entertaining Sunday afternoon watch. So with that, I'll be in the bunker of shun. Cheers. : close brackets.
Fuck you, Chris. Go, you get your ass in that fucking bunker and I'll just brick it up. Sorry, Witless for the Defence is cancelled. Forever. How? I don't. I mean, you know, I listen to Witless to the Defence. I listen regularly, and I hear all sorts of films coming up for being defended, and I see stuff go through, and I think, right, and then I get shot down for things like Star Wars, and then he comes back with this. I think he should be cast out of the court. I mean, genuinely do. I genuinely think you, Elton, and you, Jim, should basically overthrow him and just
Stage a coup.
Stage a coup. Just no. There's no. You completely invalidated his position as judge. I mean, fuck off. Entertaining. Entertaining.
Now, if you do send in a shitty movie for Witless for the Defence, you will be hurting me and Jim. So please don't do that.
I just. Oh. Entertaining. Was anyone here entertained by that film?
No. Mystified? Yes.
Bong. Bong. Tumbleweed rolls across.
Flabbergasted? Yes.
And Jesus Christ, Chris. Okay, well, I'll be putting the number up for Samaritans at the end of the cast. I suggest you take it, Chris.
It's going to be on one of those posters you see at Cannon Street Station. Samaritans help me.
They got me out. Oh, God. Right, okay, well, yeah. Thanks for that, Chris. I mean, you can hear Chris down a well, possibly, on the Witless for the Defence, which you can find at Witless Defender, or no, it's Witless .geekplanetonline.com. And
that's right.
And all good bookshops everywhere. Possibly written on the toilet wall, toilet wall saying, "Have you seen this man?" Find him, kill him. £200 bounty. Right. Well, let's move on. We've got 2 more pieces of written feedback, and then we're on to MP3. And the first one is from Eric J., our man in Canada. And he writes, feedback for the Avengers. It has no hammer, but it leaves you feeling floor. Okay, anyway. Here we go. Hey, Black Doggers. It's been a while. Short explanation. There's a reason work is a 4-letter word. Still, what a film to come back to. The legend that's in the annals of cinematic misfires, The Avengers. And guess what? I'm glad I watched it. Not that it was good. If ever there was a term cinematic road apples, it applies right here. But the film was rotten in the way that I found interesting. I'll expand on that by saying that Ralph Fiennes is a very good actor, and he was miscast. You have to have something to pull a role like this off, and he hasn't got it. And there's something a bit mealy-mouthed about him that makes him hard to buy as a cinematic hero. Uma Thurman fared marginally better. She looked good in the clothes and pulled off an okay accent, and occasionally conveyed a sense of mischief and fun that Diana Rigg exuded so effortlessly. However, even if Fiennes and Thurman had been perfectly cast, I don't think it would have worked because, to my mind, the characters of John Steed and Emma Peel only had what Patrick Macnee and Diana Rigg brought to them. Contrast this with James Bond. Bond came from a series of books and exists as a well-rounded character. And in the movie versions, actors can inhabit this character well or badly, but they've got something to work with. In The Avengers, I think the writers of the old series built the role of John Steed so closely around Patrick Macnee that the character of Steed is like a magic glass slipper. Either it fits perfectly or it doesn't fit at all. The constraints aren't quite as tight for Mrs. Peel, which is perhaps why I think Thurman comes off a little better in the film. As a counter-argument, you'd be fair in mentioning that the Star Trek reboot, in the first film at least, Kirk and Spock were reasonably well inhabited by the actors who weren't Shatner and Nimoy, but even there I'd say the characters had more to them conceptually than Steed and Peel, so they were more durable, for lack of a better word. Anyway, I'll concede that this would be that I could be full of road apples or horse buns, by any other term my dad uses, on this, so I'll stop blathering on, except to say, who hires Eddie Izzard, a comedian whose stock in trade is wordplay and smart observations, and then gives him no dialogue, except for, oh fuck, which did make me laugh. People behind the Avengers 1998, that's who, and that really tells you all you need to know about this waste of celluloid. Finally, on tangential but sort of related note, years ago, I worked in the marketing and the publicity department of a major book publisher. Our UK partner was Transworld, and we toured a number of their authors. Consequently, I got to meet Patrick Macnee and Terry Pratchett, and, from my small experience of them, they were both class acts, thoroughly professional and nice to everyone. And with that, I'll sign off. Your pal in Toronto, Eric. Thank you very much for that, Eric. So, yeah, he's a bit more forgiving for why it's crap, but he still thinks it's crap, which I think is fair enough. Still shit. He hasn't turned around and said it's a guilty, entertaining pleasure.
Yeah.
Chris. So, let's move on to the last written feedback. Thank you very much for that, Eric, by the way. Thank you, and welcome back to the feedbacking world.
Mm-hmm.
And who do we have now, Darren?
We have Teresa Balls.
The frog stomper.
Yes, and she sent a mail entitled, Sean Needs a New Conservatory.
Nice.
Good evening, Lee, Darren, Jim and Elton. What a bloody appalling movie. I wanted my money back, and I didn't pay anything for it.
Nice.
Teddy bears have a meeting. My brain is officially out of words, as I've been writing an essay for most of the day, so I really just wanted to say hello.
Hello.
I suppose I should briefly comment on this clusterfuck of a movie. Terrible script, woeful acting, no chemistry between Dopey and Hopeless, or whatever the lead actors' names were. I wanted to shoot Sean Connery. God, try saying that with a Scottish accent. But that's nothing new. Cheers, chaps. Teresa Frog Stomper Bowles. P.S. Loved the non-swear-a-thon Electric Boogaloo episode.
Thank you very much for that, Teresa. And thank you for that feedback. Succinct, to the point.
Yeah.
Didn't say you enjoyed it. That's a start. I think
You always got off onto a good foot with that one.
yes, that's definitely a good start. So, thank you very much for that to everyone who sent in written feedback. Except Chris. Anyway, no, I'm joking. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, everyone. So, now it's time to move on to our MP3 feedback. So, our first piece of MP3 feedback is from Mr. Andy Palastides, who I would imagine is probably strapped up in a harness, trying desperately to straighten his back after spending 2 days at London Comic Con dressed as a Ghostbuster, lugging around that proton pack.
Yeah, because he really fucking hated it, you know?
Yeah, I bet he did.
Terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
you could tell, can't you?
All the attention he received.
Yeah,
He was just like, what the fuck's going on, man?
Yeah, I know. I don't know how he coped. But anyway, let's hear what he has to say about the Avengers.
Evening, chaps. Evidently something wrong with me subjecting myself to this film despite knowing it's absolutely appallingly terrible, but, well, there we go. I don't even know where to begin. I never followed the Avengers as a kid. It was a little bit before my time, so I don't really have any nostalgia or any connection to the original series. I'm told that the film is somewhat reminiscent of the style and the humour of the original, but again, somewhat lost on me. For me, the biggest issues are probably the dialogue. It is so clunky. They may as well have called this euphemism of a movie. So much back and forth and attempted double entendres, which is just failing. And then, of course, we have Sean in his teddy bear's picnic. I've got no idea whatsoever what was going on with that, but there you go. So, yes, all in all, just a waste of hour and a half, really. So, yes, thanks for that. Cheers. I'll see you later. Bye.
Short, sweet, and to the point. That's fine. Thank you very much for that, Andy.
That's the way we like it.
Yeah, that's it. Fine. Yeah. Send more feedback like that. We can all go home early. Way. So, thank you very much for that, Andy. Yeah. I don't know why you watched it either. You knew what you were getting into. Fool. Anyway. Right. Well, thank you very much, sir. And we'll move on to our last piece of feedback, which is from Pete Organ of the Orgcast, or rather the Borgcast, which you can find at borgcast.geekplanetonline.com, iTunes, and on Tumblr, I think, which is the Star Trek Next Generation podcast and DS9, and obviously our guests from last week's Star Trek 6 episode. So, let's hear what the good Reverend has to say about this utter pile of shit.
Evening, chaps. I never watched the Avengers TV series, no spaceships, so just found watching that film just completely baffling. I don't know whether trying too hard to be English was part of the original series or not, but it was bloody irritating, and it was rather like Uma Thurman's accent. It was just trying way too hard and failing. All the tea and macaroons, double-decker buses and weather problems are boring. And I'm just left with loads of questions, like, why did they think those rubbish CGI robot wasps were worth including? Why is Sean Connery introduced as the villain right near the beginning of the film, making what little plot there is redundant? Why is London deserted? Why employ stand-up Eddie Izzard and give him one line? Why does this film even exist? Just why? Why? Oh.
Warning. Self-destruct sequence has been initiated. Warp core overload in 4 minutes, 55 seconds. There will be no further audio warnings.
I think we killed him.
That's another one we've broken.
We've taken the man of the cloth and we've destroyed him.
Yep, his faith, everything.
We've done it in. We've completely ruined him.
He's questioning everything about the universe.
Exactly. We've actually robbed him of his faith. Nice. Job well done. Let's all go home. Thank you very much for that, Pete. And again, if you want to hear more of Pete and Anne-Marie, then you can hear them on the Borgcast, which is on Geek Planet Online and on iTunes. Right, that's it. Let's not spend another moment talking about this absolute fucking clagfest. This cock-gobbling shit stain of a movie. I'm not even going to get creative swearing. I'm just going to just leave it there. And let's just say thank you to everyone for watching it. Thank you to everyone sending in feedback. But now we must move on. Our next film is a adaptation of a comic book that they said was going to be unfilmable. Something that was going to be impossible to do well in 2 hours. And, well, you know, depending on who you talk to, it was a bit of a mixed reaction, but frankly, generally, most people thought they at least pulled it off. We're talking about Zack Snyder, as Mark Commode would put it. Zack Snyder's Watchmen. His last reasonable movie, I think it's safe to say. So, yes, adaptation of Alan Moore's comic, when everything had to be grim and gritty. And, yes. So, how many people here around this assembled table, virtual table, has seen fucking Avengers. Go away, Avengers. Watchmen.
Oh, I have.
You have,
yes.
Jim?
I have, yes.
Elton?
I have several times.
Cool. So, very quickly, see if we can get this in under 2.5 hours. Mm-hmm. What did everyone think of it? Very quickly.
I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Okay. Jim?
I liked it.
Okie dokie. Elton?
Thumbs up from me.
And I'll say I did like it too. Yes. So we're all looking forward to seeing it again, I presume.
Oh, yeah. I get to dust out the Blu-ray that's been sat on my shelf all that time and finally get to watch it.
Nice.
So it's going to be the extended cut that I've got indoors.
Right. Okay. Well, okay, yeah, that's a good point.
It's not the one with the black.
There's
the black freighter.
No, there's a number of different versions of it. Yeah. If you do watch this film and you do send in feedback, do let us know what version you have watched. Anyone else got any worries about seeing this film or not? Everyone?
No, I've seen the Blu-ray version. I've got the DVD version, so it's not. I think that's a different cut, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there's 3 different cuts. There's theatrical directors and the super duper extended cut.
Ultimate cut.
That's it. Yes.
I've got the director's cut.
Yeah, I've got the director's and the Ultimate edition. So
the Ultimate edition.
Yeah, with the black freighter and everything stuck in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never watched it.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I might give that a crack if I've got 5.5 hours to waste.
Well, it might be worth a watch, actually. That you do that, Elton, you watch the normal version. I'll watch the director's cut.
Jim watches it all.
Yeah, and Jim, you can watch Die Hard. There we go.
So there you go. That's this week's film. Do join us for that. So if you want to send in any feedback for Watchmen, send it in to blackdog@geekplanetonline.com or leave it on the Facebook group or PM me via Facebook if you can. And we'll read it out next week. So until that time, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Same here.
And just a little reminder: you can hear Jim on Hypnagoria on iTunes and on Blackdog on the Geek Planet Online site. And you can hear Elton and Jim on Witless for the Defence with the heretic Chris Johnson. So, that's it really. Let's wrap it all up and we'll see you all next week for Watchmen. Until then, take care. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Tea, anyone?
Fuck off.
Off.
out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.